firstly, this is me. I'm Leene. I'm from Estonia, and I studied multimedia and graphic design, and I have been in the game industry now for 9 years. And I am the CEO of Placeholder Gameworks, creative director, art director, and indie multi-hat, as is a lot of other people as well. And Placeholder Gameworks is me and the other guy, Oak, and we are 50-50 owners of the company, and we have up to 25 team members right now in the team, working on 2 games at the same time. Good idea, bad idea, both. Yeah, so firstly, Death and Taxes was my baby, and it did super well. It's a Grim Reaper office simulation for PC. And yeah, because that did super well, I was able to start the company Placeholder Gameworks, and these are the other 2 games that we're working on, Broken Alliance and Craft. And I will talk about more about this. But also, I know that the starting of things is the most inspirational for people, so I will still talk about what happened with Death and Taxes and how I got there. So why did I make this talk overall is that I bootstrapped and self-published a game. I have lived 5 years in a game dev co-living house in Sweden, and I see a lot of struggle in people and indies, and they have the same issues all over and over again, and I want to talk about those issues and see like how can we solve them. And I also have been told that hearing my story helps people, and I love to help people gain confidence and succeed at what they're doing. So yeah, and in this talk there's very personal background stuff. I will talk about how to survive as a true indie, also how to market and have fun doing it, and also how to finish your game, actually the hardest part really in game development for everybody, I would say. And another disclaimer, I'm not saying the way to do things is the only way, but seems to work for some and me as well, like you were saying before. And there will be some mention of mental health issues, difficult topics, death, and no taxes though. I keep on lying to people about taxes because Death and Taxes also doesn't have any taxes in it, so yeah. And now when I have prepared you very throughout, then let's strap in, let's go have a very rocky start to this presentation. So the very personal stuff to get it out of the way. So let's start from the most low point of my life I had. I was really failing in university. I had undiagnosed ADHD. I had trouble for years. Completely no support from a family. My mom died when I was very young, and my dad was really bad person overall. And I also was not able to keep any friends because I had depression for years. Hit complete rock bottom, deep depression, yeah. And I felt so much like I was behind in life. So currently I'm 31 and I have done a lot, and it's great. But at that point, like in start of 20s, I just felt like, okay, I don't have anything at this moment. I did have one thing though, and that was time with myself. And I was just fed up being depressed, and I just wanted to be happy. And I had to figure out what's the way to do that. And I figured out that that is through growth and self-love, because anybody else is not going to come and save me. Then I knew that even though all the hardest times, I felt like I never gave up on myself. So I started trusting myself. I'm talking about this. They might be like, what the heck are you talking about this? This is a game developer's event. I just wanted to show that I didn't come from a privileged background, and people can become so successful even if they feel like they aren't doing that well in their life. And to achieve things, I needed to cultivate a lot of confidence and self-love in myself. And I feel like a rock bottom is a nice solid ground to build a foundation on. I'm not saying that everybody needs to hit the rock bottom for it. There are much better ways to actually cultivate self-love before you get into that place. But I really needed to realize that I have to follow my own path, and I can't keep on hearing what other people tell for me to do, or the criticism. So I found out that I will be actually happy if I stop conforming and start standing out and be unapologetically myself. Like drag queens or something like that. And that with game development, not only in my life as well. So I recently saw a very cool video from Aoi Brain Hurts called Do It Anyway. I suggest you look it up. And she talks about how she has the audacity to try out things, and that it means that you stop thinking, okay, I need to make a story-based game. I'm not a writer. You shouldn't think that you're not a writer. You should think, I will go online and figure out how I write. I might have, I learned how to write a tiny bit in school. That should be enough for something, So, like, basically changing the script that you have in your head of, I can't do this because, and every time you say, I can't do this because of this, you should try to flip the script, and that's the only way you could do something afterwards. Okay. That thing out of the way, let's go to the second part, and that is surviving as true indie. So the start of my journey was that I started watching a lot of talks, like GDC talks and all that, and writing everything down. And so I made like a kind of game dev Bible for myself. A lot of the things are, of course, timed, like not applying anyways anymore because some years have passed. But I learned so much from other people's mistakes, and I decided to follow their advice. And this is why I like to also talk about my mistakes, and that helps other people. I also gained a lot of confidence by taking part of local game jams, and that was very important to have like a local small community at the grassroots level. So I would say there's two ways to do indie. And you can also take a middle path, of course. And one is like indie house cat way. So you go for publishers, investors, money, you go pitch, you do business plans, you maybe go through like some sort of accelerator, they teach you business, and you do all that. And then there's the true indie street cat way, which is the direct to customer way. And both ways are totally fine, and they're great. And in a lot of ways, indie house cat way is the preferred way, but I really want to be the true indie street cat. And it's tough, but I really want that. So firstly, what is true indie? What would that mean? Because the word indie nowadays has been really watered down. So truly independent, I would say it's not tied to publishers or investors, that you're making money for yourself, not others. Also, I am not gatekeeping anybody. I feel it's totally fine when there are big games with a lot of people on board, investors, all those things, and they still say that they have like the indie mindset or they're tagged as indie. It's fine, but I feel like then we need another stronger word for that. And I would say true indie would be that then. So also, nobody is truly independent. Even if you're an indie and you're like, I don't know, making ads on Twitter or something, or putting up your game on Steam, there's still big fishes that are gonna take cuts out of your success. But that's still nicer for me personally. So struggles, no money to support yourself. no money to have team members. What do you do then? Why would you do that to yourself? Like, what's the reason? For me personally, I love the freedom, and like I said before, I really need to do my own thing. I will. It's either I'm depressed or I do my own thing. So that's not a choice really for me to do something for somebody else. Also, we own our own revenue. We can invest in ourselves, because if you trust in yourself and you're like, oh, I need to invest in the future, then you can invest your time into the thing, and it's cool. And I'm gonna be very lit and say that capitalism sucks. We do revenue share with a lot of team members. We also pay salary to people who want to have it. We do like 50-50 shares as well, in a way. And why am I talking about this as well, is that I do not want to feed the bigger fish. So if somebody has money, a lot of money, and they give us money to make a game, to get more money back, and we would be still at a state where maybe we can't survive as well, then that's not nice. So we trust that we're going to do well, and we want to get our own revenue back to ourselves and give it to the actual team members who actually put work in, not own money. They own some time and themselves. So I think they deserve their revenue much more than a publisher would. So I want to spend my time also communicating with players and other indies, not publishers. So I go to a lot of events like this. Sometimes they have the business-to-business area, people having a lot of, like, having 10 meetings in a day, running around stressed, trying to get money. And I don't want to do that. I want to hang with some cool indies, talk about inspirational things, and see how we can, like, cross-promote with other indies, and I want to talk to players, and that's what I want to do more than I would want to talk to some person who's actually cares about the money, even if they make like a face like they care about your team or something like that. There are a few publishers that are nice, but I would say 90% are in it for the money. So how I solved this issue. Firstly, having no money, I just went to live somewhere cheap. I know some people from, for example, a team that made Body Simulator. They did super well as an indie, and we were like, oh, congrats, you guys, that's great. And they were depressed a bit about it, because they were like, we live in San Francisco, and I don't think we can continue doing games. So live somewhere cheap. If you have family that could support you, go live with your family. There's something that you have to cut if you want to do this, I guess. I also worked some odd jobs here and there. It's really hard to work full time and also at the same time make your game. Some people can do that, I can't. I did do some teaching on the side, but that was more like a few days a week maybe, or something, to just to get by. I also applied to any small opportunities I could possibly find. That's where the street cat part comes in as well. You go and try to apply to anything you can find. And I did get like some grants or something like that, but they were all in a few hundred. Maybe one of them was like 1,000 euros. So it's not anything that would, make a game, but it will pay your rent maybe for a month or two. Or get you some swag or something, or visibility. So there are possibilities out there if you really want it enough. So also, this question is one of the questions that is asked the most from me. How to get team members if you don't have money to give them? Well, I think you just need to have really good pitch of the game, and also have a really solid plan and believe it in yourself. Like, you have to know that your game will do well. and I don't know, maybe be delusional or something. But if you are, then people in your team who join will also be delusional together with you. But I also had a lot of reasons why this will work out. I had a marketing plan that was like thought out from the first moment when I thought about this game. Also, give them a revenue share deal. Revenue share is sometimes looked as in bad light, because some people might be like, "Hey, I want you to make my game for me for free," and that's not how it works. You have to figure out what else besides money you can give them. It might be creative freedom. It might be you promise like this game will come out over my dead body, so you will have a released game under your portfolio. Or you can say that, hey, I can show you how to do indie dev, and you can learn from it and all that. So what do your team members need, and just take care of them and have something to show as well. The first person that joined me was very important, because he was making the concept art for this game, and he's a person who's just drawing all the time, and then you can just give him a task and he's like, okay, I'll draw for you, and it's more fun because otherwise he just draws into his drawer and he makes great things, but he doesn't have the marketing mind to go out there and put it out there, you know. So there are people like that in there, and he's such an angel. So he made some concept art, and that helped me hook some other people to the team. So firstly, believe in it yourself. Make team members believe in it. This is me. Disco Elysium was made in Estonia, and it fell apart, kind of, all the drama stuff. And then I was like, hey, so you were on a good salary, you guys, right away, you know. You probably have some money for living a bit, and you know how to make story-based games and all that. And do you want to join my team? And they joined my team. So we might say that the industry is collapsing. A lot of people are being let go, but maybe they might basically treat people as trash and throw them away, but you as a street cat will love that trash and pick it up and take good care of it. Yes, calling my team members trash, lovely. So in the end, it all worked out. I was still studying stuff. I was working tiny bit. 2 to 3 years of slow pre-production time. It was mostly me alone, and some of the time also the concept artist as well. And it was just on the mind all the time, and it was like slowly boiling, bubbling up. And then when I was ready, we put together an 8-member team, and it took 9 months, and Death and Taxes was released. And it sold over 500,000 copies on Steam, and now it's on all the other consoles and mobile and all that. And it had a big personal impact for some players, and that was great. And also, we now had money to make next games from that revenue and continue being fully independent for that point. It's crazy. We kind of have only one revenue income stream still, and that is the sales of Death and Taxes on different platforms. And yes, we are running out of money now because that was in 2020 when it came out, but we were able to continue things. We did get some help with porting it and all that, so it has been good. So let's move to marketing. Marketing is like a scary word for a lot of people. So that's a thing. Another question that I get asked a lot: how do I market my game? And I'm like, oh boy, do you have a whole day? And then they're like, this is too much information. Anyways, I think there's a better question actually is, how do I design a game for the market? Because I feel like marketing and like game design basically are the same thing, or like should be one, game development should be one big bundle together with the marketing of it, because you have to do market research and all that. My way of doing this is make the game you think is missing on the market. I'm a gamer myself. Also, I play a lot of indie games. I love them. And I just go on Steam oftentimes and I just search and I'm like, I kind of like this game, but if it had this thing, it would be better. Or I watch like trailers, shows and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know, like I wish there was a game like this. And if you find that, then you have found a hole in the market. And you're not as unique as you think. There's so many people out there, millions of people that would love exactly the same game that you would love. So the market is huge, and even the smallest niche actually has millions of players. So memes. So creativity and fun we are having already making the game content should be also had while making marketing content. Like people are saying, oh, I hate social media. I really hate just posting or talking about I don't want to sell things. This is uncomfortable ads. Ugh. It's nothing that I want to do as an indie dev, but I feel like that's not a good way to think about it, because you can really meme the hell out of it and you can make it as fun as you want and people will see the creativity. And rather than making ads, you should make content, I think. So here's a trailer for Death and Taxes that I made.
You are the Grim Reaper. You are Death. Welcome to your new job as Grim Reaper number 101. So, obviously, you've been assigned with picking humans who have to die. Pretty standard stuff. You can choose the ones you save, and the ones you can't. And your actions will have consequences. Please try to follow the rules, otherwise I have to fire you. And try not to burn the world down. So, everything clear?
Yeah, so not a lot of action in this game, so you can do a lot with some voiceover or something like that. I had a lot of fun making that, and I think it shows. It also surprisingly follows some dumb mobile game ad like conventions that they use. For example, failing at the thing, then having also like big contrasts. Things are good, things are bad, and then question like, what the heck is happening right now? Like zooming into the fidget spinner and things, like zoning out, and it's like confusion. So a lot of emotions go into it, and even though it does follow the same conventions that some of the mobile game ads do, then it doesn't feel like it, does it? I think it's more entertaining. It feels less like an ad. That's my thought. So then these three are the games that we're working on, and you can see they all have their own very bold kind of front, visual bold front. They all have their own colors. Death and Taxes, very both the name is very like Death and Taxes, like raises some questions. At the same time, it seems very grim, but it's very colorful for some reason, and it like raises some questions what's going on. Broken Lands is, I call it a rainbow puke. It just attacks your eyeballs right away when you see, and if you like shiny things like me, then you will be like, shiny. And Craft is going against a lot of conventions of having a simple logo. It's just all about maximalism, and a lot of big companies never use maximalism as a aesthetic. So using that, you will be seen. Also, the main character has kind of deranged, kind of crazed look to her as well, and it's like, do you want to be this character? I don't know, but it is eye-catching though, and there's something likable about them, I think. So yeah, very important front of the game. You should do things that AAA would not, because you cannot compete with them. You can't make the biggest, most fancy things, but you can do wild things that they are not able to. And this is how you add the soul to your games. So firstly, you can act like a friendly neighborhood game dev on social media, and you can make talks like this and not sound like you're a professional person at all, even though, because you don't give a fuck about it. But also you can also have a lot of quirky secondary things in the game that add soul to it, and that helps, like, you know, the fidget spinner that I mentioned before. I was just like one day, you know, it would be funny if the Grim Reaper had a skull fidget spinner on their table. And the programmer, Oak, was like, yeah, that would be funny. I was like, I'm going to draw it. And he was just like, I'm going to put it in the game and make it spin when you click on it. And it took 2 hours maybe. And we had a fidget spinner in the game in AAA Studio. Somebody's, hey, I have this idea. Everybody's like, is this... So we have these plans in here. Is this gonna fit somehow in the plan? Let me ask from the manager of this team if they are willing to put some work hours to it, and then they're gonna have 3 different meetings about it, and in different teams, and they're gonna see if they can fit it into the cycle. And they probably won't do that because it's a waste of time for them, and they have already decided on things. So do things that AAA can't do, and be brave and personal with your game content. If you talk about personal things, if you are brave and open, people will be so much nicer to you as well, because they see that there's a person behind that game, and they will be accepting any issues with it, like, for example, having incredibly boring gameplay in Death and Taxes. But the characters are so charming, and also the music is so great, and the voiceovers is lovely, and the choices matter, and it's all awesome. The mechanics might be, it might be quite boring game, but, you know, I love it, you know. So having it will be accepted. That's what I mean. Really like the story of Clay Company, who made Don't Starve. You should look it up as well. They made, Don't Starve. Before that, they were working with publishers, and they were stuck in a loop where publishers were putting them into crunch. And then their game did well, but publisher took all the money, and they didn't have money again, and then they needed to wrap it up again and try to find something new and then pitch it to publishers, and then they were stuck in this loop where they were in crunch, and also, because it was all up to publishers. So they were like, I don't want to do this anymore, and they decided, hey, let's make a game that looks a bit different, that we make with our own resources on the side, a small thing. It wasn't a small thing, it's never a small thing. It turned out quite time heavy, as always, but the takeaway from this is did super well, and now they're free from the publishers, and they can do their own games. And they also were super scared when they started doing it, because the game has alternative style. It has very simplistic kind of scribbly style to it, and people were like, only alternative people are gonna play it. Well, no, everybody could play a game that looks very alternative. So make your game look super crazy. That's totally fine. Make it very unique, and like a lot of people will like that. Not only the audience you think that would, but there's a lot more out there. Like, for example, like Cult of the Lamb and all that. You would think that maybe it's a bit too much, but really there's no such thing as too much. People love game ads, and that is wild. In a lot of ad industries and stuff, nobody would just sit down and watch 3 hours of ads or something. But that's some events that people are most like excited and look forward to, and they're like, yes, content, game ads, I'm so excited for this game, hype train, woo. And you can like make a lot with that, and it's not putting an ad out there, it is making fun content that people will get something out of. And here is a craft pitch that I recently made.
This is Leene. Leene is tired of being the hero in video games, tired of killing gods, also tired of farming. She would much rather be a merchant who makes wares for coin. One day, Leene decided to make a video game where she can be the NPC. In this game, you can craft jewelry in your own shop, smith weapons and armor, be a cat or a moth if you like, scavenge materials, meet a wide cast of characters.
Hello?
And romance. Craft. You'll know there are actual crafting systems because there are 2 crafts in the title. 1 wishlist on Steam equals 1 dopamine for developers. Thank you.
Thank you, wishlist craft. So yeah, that's the thing. Do not be afraid to just go on and ask people to wishlist your game or something, or like, it's fine. It's okay. I know it might feel like begging, but they'll be happy to help and support and all that. So, what do people want? How can I give it to them? It's a very important question. I already talked about team members, that I need to provide them what they want. Also, people on social media make content, not ads. I already mentioned that. But also journalists, you can give them some spicy stuff if you have some spicy insider info about your game, or you can also write articles for them, because what they want is have some nice articles and have people click on them, so you can figure that out for them, like, hey, I have an idea for you. Could you put it up on, like, PC Gamer or something? And oftentimes it works out surprisingly. Also, content creators, you shouldn't go into sending an email to a content creator, like a long list of content creators, and be like, try out my game. This is a merchant simulator with these things and all that. You should make personal emails. Look at what their audience loves, what's like their most popular videos. Look at what they love about video games, and be like, hey, I think if you would do these things in my game and make a video out of it, I think your audience would love it and you would have a lot of fun, because this is what you really like, and I know these like these games. And talk to them as a person, and the success rate is so much higher. Like, you might send like thousands of emails to content creators, but I might take a day and send it to 15 or something, and like maybe 1/3 will answer actually, which is like quite good, I think. Like it's like 5 people, that there might be a bit bigger content creators who are actually like, doing something. Last week, I got an email back from one of the content creators. I'm just trying to drive this thought home. saying, "Thanks for the heads up about Craft. I've added to my wish list and release calendar and will do best to find some time to show it some love during next fest. Also, I want to say that I truly appreciate your thoughtful, personalized email, as most developers and marketing teams just paste cold, informal text, and for that reason alone, I took a look at the game and made a note of it." So, yeah, that's basically... See what they want, offer them what they want. They will give you back stuff. They don't have to. And always be like, hey, you don't have to. Here's a key for the game. That's totally fine. I enjoy your content. Continue doing awesome stuff. And, you know, there's no pressure or anything because you're asking for something for free. You're not, you know, paying for them. Make deals where the both sides gets as much as possible. I love cross-promoting with other indie devs, making events and bundles and sales where you need to keep together with indies, especially when we're street cats and we just need to, you know, winter comes and we need to bundle up all together and be like in warmth together, so not to die of cold, I guess, and that will help a lot. Also, you can write dev blogs for more visibility on some places, and also helping others in their developer journey. And so it's like give to people and you will also get something back. And currently, it's not very useful to try to just post on social media, like if you don't have a big followers. Some social media might show your stuff like TikTok to more people, but a lot of it, if you don't have YouTube followers, if you don't have like Twitter followers or something, just making a lot of content there and posting is kind of screaming into the void and nobody will see it. So it's better to actually talk to people who have the following and give them something, and it's less work and you will get more out of it. Craft has more than 23,000 wish lists at this moment. It's on Next Fest as well, as is Broken Alliance, and you can also try them out downstairs. They're still buggy, but maybe you'll, especially if you put the headphones on and hear the lovely soothing sounds of voice actors, then maybe you'll forgive us. But there's only one person marketing it part-time. That's me. I'm just saying that I'm telling about this. There was a person from Tencent who came up to me and was like, "Oh, your numbers are really good. Like, what's your marketing team?" I was like, "Me, part-time, few hours a week." And then they were like, figure out, like, "Oh, we want a part of that. Could we buy your company?" We could think of what you could do with 40 marketers. That's so large. And I'm like, that doesn't work like that. I don't think 40 marketers would make that big of a difference. I looked at some big publishers' games that were like very promising and they're not selling more. Like if they have 40 people marketing and their game is not selling more, then work smart, not hard, really. And things don't scale up well. The more people you have in your team, the less work they will actually do, the more they will... That's a hard lesson for me as well. Of course, we have been growing. We have 25 people. And it's like, it's not like if you have 10 people, you add 10 more, oh, my game will be double as big. No, maybe it will be like 10% bigger, because then you have to add all these other people who deal with those people, and then you have to like, yeah, have a lot of meetings and all that. Things don't scale well. Final part. How much time do I have left? Okay, I'll do it quick. Finishing your game. Yes, nobody ever heard that, or everybody says that they're gonna finish it sooner than ever. But things that kill game projects. We had a talk yesterday about that, and I was like, oh, that's really cool, very good points in there. Also, so this is what I see a lot in the house that I'm in, and same problems all the time. Dreaming up ideas is so much more fun than actually making the game. They are also making too complex games, feature creep in every project, ours as well. Just keep it at bay, like, I don't know, hit it with something, the monster will go away, but it is there. And not enough trust in the idea, or yourself is one big problem as well. There's an illustration for the bit of despair that I feel like every project goes through. Sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's harder, but it will be there. And how do you survive the bit of despair? Well, so yeah, coming up with an idea, as I said, is also always harder than actually making the game. This meme has helped me through the hard times. I have looked at it and been like, these crystals are my game ideas, and I'm Patrick. I'm just standing in there. I will not start new projects, and it actually cheers me up and gives me strength. But to be more serious, you can make promises to other people, have responsibility buddies, have other game devs around you, and be like, hey, this month I will finish this and I will show you it. And that will help, especially if you're a solo dev. It's so hard being a solo dev. This is why I work in a team. If you're having a bad week, the project doesn't stop completely. For example, you can't do anything in a week, just horrible week. And then you go back to the computer and you're like, nothing has progressed. But the amount of happiness I get from just seeing that, oh, other people in the team have been making something. Look at this nice art. Look at this. This works now. This is great. And I'll just jump back into it because that's inspiring. Other people are inspiring. Have also really good reason why you want to do this. It will get you through the worst. For example, for me, it was for death and taxes, because Western society doesn't talk about death a lot. And I know the death positivity movement that has made some research into it, that if you talk about death in whatever form, it's going to be helpful for people. Then if I was in the hardest bit of despair kind of times of the project, I was just thinking that there's a reason why I'm doing this. And it's because I, as a young person, was reading a lot of Terry Pratchett and seeing a lot of Grim Reaper characters, and because nobody around me talked about death topics, then I was like, that was where I got my dealing with the topic. And I found out that games are actually really good for this because they immerse themselves, and what's better to become a Grim Reaper yourself, to put you into a tough situation, to think about your own and other people's mortality. And yeah, a lot of people have told that it has helped them, so that's so awesome. If you run into an issue, don't ignore it. That's one of the things. There's some issue you can't solve, then ask fellow developers. Do not stay stuck in it for too long, because your motivation will run out every day more and more as you struggle, and that's where your game will stop and you don't want to do it anymore. And also keep an eye out on your internal talk, because we bully ourselves out of liking things. I might be drawing something and I'm like, I've been doing this for years. Why am I still so bad at it? This sucks, I should be better, all that kind of thought. And then you're like, oh shit, I don't like drawing anymore because I have bullied myself out of liking it because I'm so critical of myself. And then that's where I found out that a lot of people do that, and they start hating game dev in all of the parts because they just I'm shit at this, I can't do this, all that. So yeah, just be nice to yourselves and catch when you're talking negative things. Also make something simple. Death and Taxes is basically a Tinder, as I like to call them. Yes or no question. A lot of fun, actually, surprisingly. And this is the last slide. It's the takeaway of all of this. I would say be brave, be loud, stand out, and commit fully. That's the indie way, in a way, because that's how you get the... if you do something just partly, people will not see it as much. But if you just go full in, I promise you, people will see. Sometimes we'll give also bad comments, but that is okay. That is part of it. Also believe in your project, love it, and others will also do. If you believe in it yourself, find reasons why this will work out. This will work out because. And then if you love it, then others will also see it. You can pitch it to other people, journalists, content creators, players, everybody, you know. Have as many reasons why you are making it to survive the pit of despair. It could be any reason. It could be you love education and you want to educate people, anything like that. Face the issues you are having and reach out for help to other developers. I live in a co-living space in Sweden. You can talk to me about it. It's a great place where people are sharing their issues and getting help from each other. Have empathy and provide people what they want, because you don't have to even get back something. You just feel good for doing it. And oftentimes they'll be much nicer to you. Don't let feature creep kill you. It's the most horrible monster that is lurking every day of my life and on other people as well. And unfortunately, I have to be the police. It's not fun, and it might, you know, if you don't. Sometimes just let this small fun feature in, like a fidget spinner that will take you 2 hours to make, and people will get a lot from it. Grab every opportunity you find, and there are opportunities out there if you search, and don't be afraid. Be the scrappy cat. Okay, so let's raise each other up as indies. That one is for wishlisting craft, and yeah, the talk will be shared as well, and maybe I'll. Anyways. Talk to me on Discord. That's the best place to reach me, or Twitter. This is my Discord or Twitter. And yeah, thank you everybody for coming. I don't know if there's any time for questions.
We can do. Thanks a lot. Let's do a couple of questions, especially if you don't have like a long ones. Let's leave long ones for private. Do we have? 1 or 2 smaller questions, or we'll keep it private. Oh, sorry.
I don't know if it's gonna be a small question, but after it we can discuss more. Just recently, European Union is cracking down on monopolies in mobile space, such as App Store and Google Store and so on. Do you think allowing side loading would encourage more indies maybe go to mobile space? Because, for example, I'm playing your game. I enjoy it, not very far in it, but I thought like, okay, but I don't have time to open my laptop, but I have time in between meetings or something. But I couldn't find your game on App Store. Maybe it is there, probably not.
It is now there, like maybe like 2 months ago.
Okay, I will look deeper. Yeah. But what do you think? Would cracking down on App Store monopolies and allowing side loading would encourage more indies to go to mobile space as well?
Like, there is a lot of games in the mobile space. That is, yeah, the problem currently, that usually just more money, big publishers will bring in more. So this is why I have just kept to the markets that are available for me more. And then if something is successful, I can port it to mobile. Yeah, mobile is tough. It's a whole lot of different situation. I feel like I'm getting blessed by the algorithm gods in Steam, and I'm playing that game because that is available for me to do. So that is available for a lot of indies, and I wish a lot of other places would have that kind of opportunity as well, that you can make it yourself. Because mobile places, yeah, it's not as easy as this. You probably do need a publisher, unfortunately, at this moment, but I would love if you didn't have to.
Thank you. Any more? Oh, yes.
To quickly add to that question, because I know a bit about it, on Google Play Store and App Store, you get a 15% revenue cut until 1 million. That is more than Steam in revenue share. So there's an opportunity to get to 1 million in both platforms. Just wanted to give that information. One question I have is, I really love, Placeholder, Death and Taxes, and your approach. It's very cool. When I noticed, coming from Turkey and also talking to a lot of devs that are outside of the West, it seems it's super hard for people to be the scrappy cat. And I'm just looking at it from an empathetic perspective of how we as indies maybe can come together and also help others in this aspect, because people really, really depend on a salary to survive, and they don't have the options that maybe we have in the West with our safety nets. Because that got me thinking a lot, and a lot of my friends in Turkey had to go into mobile games because of this and stuff. So what are your thoughts on that? Are there opportunities where indies can help each other?
Yeah, totally. Well, for example, I want more places like Spellkollektivet. If possible, I want to make one like that as well. But that one is really good space for that. Also, like I think there's some co-working spaces that help somewhat. Also, yes, there are different culture funds from countries, and that is getting a bit better. Saying that we don't have the opportunities, well, for me personally, because I had been in the rock bottom really badly, I feel like I stopped being afraid of, I could be on the edge of getting homeless and be comfortable in there a tiny bit, because I know that I could maybe scrap together somehow the next month's rent, at that point. Now I don't have to worry, luckily, about it anymore. But that gave me that, just, it's hard to find that, being like brave enough to do that, or trust that things will work out. But they did. And I don't know a lot of people who like straight up got like, to the streets or something, from being a indie game developer. Yeah, so they're either jumping out too soon, or they might go the last mile. And again, I'm not saying drop everything, but you can do that, try that as well if you can. So yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot. That was very cool to listen. So many things changed. I think